My name is Lieutenant Neville. I'm a chaplain candidate with the Triple Deuce in Cedar City, Utah, the Field Artillery. Today in our Resiliency Minute, we're going to be talking about effective praise and active constructive responding. When I think of effective praise, the best way for me to do it is how I trained my dog. In order to make sure that the dog's behaviors continued to repeat, whenever my dog did something that I liked, I gave her a treat and I told her that she was a good girl. That made it more likely that she would repeat that behavior. So now, when I tell her to fetch, she chases the ball and brings it back. She's very happy. When I tell her to sit, she will sit. She has learned and been trained because I used effective praise properly. I connected the behavior with the praise. If you don't have a dog, you might want to use it with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your bosses. Whenever they do something good, rather than saying good job, you want to point out the behavior that they did and why that was a good thing, and then give the praise of good job. And that way they always connect that if they do those things again, they will feel good and earn the reward of self-confidence. Next, when it comes to active constructive responding, the studies and the literature tells us that there's 4 ways that people can respond. They can respond in an active way, or a passive way, constructive, or destructive. So when good news gets brought to you, you have 4 ways that you can respond. My wife comes home from work and she says, honey, I've got great news. And I go, oh, that's fantastic. What is it? I have multiplied her joy because I share her emotional level, I share in her excitement, and I'm now listening to what she has to share. I am now multiplying. I did something active and constructive, which means I'm going to multiply her joy. Now, if I want to sabotage or destroy or make sure that absolutely that joy goes nowhere, then I need to be destructive in one way or another, and I need to be passive. Studies show us that these are the best ways to make sure that you take away somebody's happiness and joy. So, if you're going to be the joy thief, you're going to try to one-up her. She comes up and says, oh, I've got great news. Oh, it's probably not as good as my news, but why don't you go ahead? Destructive and active. You will successfully be a joy thief. If you want to practice conversation hijacking, you now have to make it about you in some way. So she comes home and says, I've got great news. Well, it's going to have to hold on, because I was clipping my toenails today, and I thought to myself, I wouldn't mind doing this. It doesn't matter what you say next. You've hijacked it. It's destructive, passive, and make sure that she does not have joy and happiness. And then if you're going to kill the conversation, your wife's going to come home and say, honey, I got some great news. And you're going to go, huh? What? I've got great news. Yeah, you already said that. It's passive. It's kind of constructive, but it will kill the conversation. So if you want to make sure to ruin your lives and your relationships with others, you can practice being a joy thief, a conversation hijacker, or a conversation killer. But if you want to have good experiences and have a joy multiplier, you've got to practice being active and constructive. Listen and enjoy the people that you're around. Thanks. That's your lesson today for your Resiliency Minute for effective praise and active constructive responding.